Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly reading for the sign of Sagittarius. Alright, my fellow Sagittarius, I'm a Sagittarius myself and I do look forward to your readings. So let's get right into it. This is going to be for December 22nd to the 28th. And I just want to say hello to everyone around the world. I do have watchers from all over the world, but my biggest audiences besides the US, the UK, and Canada is actually Holland. So goedenavond, goeiedag. And South Africa, amazingly enough. So don't speak Afrikaans, but hello to y'all down in South Africa. And as well to all of my brothers and sisters in India. Huge audience there, so thank you so much, and I do enjoy the fact that my videos are reaching you all. Okay, so let's get right into it. Pull out some of these romance angel messages for you today and see what your week is about. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. We have wedding. Well, there you go, right? Some of you may indeed be getting married this week. Some may just be getting engaged. And release your ex. It's time to clear your energy, right? Let go of the past. Certainly if you're moving on with a relationship, that's always a good idea. So let's get right into your animal spirits before we know what you're going to be doing this week. All right, before we get into those messages a little bit deeper. Animal spirits can represent stages in our lives, can represent energies becoming available to us. Can also represent personality traits of people we might be dealing with, you know, coming across our path, right? So just take what applies to you. If it doesn't resonate, if it doesn't apply to you, just let it go. You know, we know that all readings can't be for all Sagittarius, so let's just see what animal spirits you may or may not be walking with this week. All right, we have the bee. And how did I know the bee was going to come out? I almost said it before I drew the cards. You know why? Because all three readings today, Libra, Scorpio, and now Sagittarius, have had the bee. The sea serpent. Wow. All right, the sea serpent. Associated with the second chakra, the spider, earth energy. All right, let's get right into it. So now the bee is air energy, and it's talking about sort of, you know, the great Democrat, right? The bee is very resourceful, very creative, always buzzing around, very sociable. This is the person who wants to make sure that everyone is happy. This is the person to make sure that everyone has their voice, right? Everyone is heard, right? This is the person who's going to make sure that the party goes off without a hitch, that everyone at the party is enjoying themselves. Very, very good, positive, social air energy here. Anybody resonating with bee energy is really a delight to be around. They bring a strength and a resourcefulness, and also an industriousness to something, creativity as well, to a project. They work very, very hard, right? So bee personalities are someone who are going to come and work on a project with you. They're going to put just as much work in, if not more, than anyone else. Very, very strong energy, right? Now the sea serpent is associated with the second chakra, which is the chakra that resides deep within the pelvic bowl, right? This is where our desires, our passions come from. This is the source of our creative energy, right? This is said to be the home of the deep feminine creative energy of the Kundalini, right? That fiery female energy of creativity, of passion, of sensuality, sexuality. When the sea serpent shows up in our lives, it means that we are able to express our passions and our creativity, our sexuality as well, in a healthy way, without judgment, without reproach, regardless of, you know, what the outside world thinks. You know, this is a very healthy sort of way of expressing this in our lives, communicating this in our lives. The sea serpent gives us this feeling of being protected regardless of who we are or what we desire, right? This motherly kind of energy that's there that kind of sort of not only protects us, but encourages us to explore this side of ourselves, right? Creative energy and sexual energy, passion are all tied together. And this is why they all come from the same chakra, that chakra deep within the pelvic bowl, which is where our reproductive organs reside, basically, right? It's all to do with the highest form of creativity, which ultimately is to create new life, right? Which we do through all of these sort of qualities. So when the sea serpent shows up, this is a huge sort of opportunity for you to sort of really express yourself. Sea serpent will also show up sometimes for some of us who are sort of maturing sexually, maybe. You know, we're starting to face up to perhaps, you know, our sexual desires, sensual desires, our sexual orientation even, but doing it in such a way that's very, very healthy, and that's very protected. All right, now the spider is earth energy, right? Talking about the life of Dharma. Now, when we're said to be living a life of Dharma, what we mean is that we're living our lives in such a way that everything that we do, every step that we make, every decision that we make is informed by our spiritual center or our moral code, right? This means that we live our lives literally step by step according to our beliefs. This is not so you don't check your sort of moral center at the door when you step out into the world, right? And in this way, the spider's movements, because every step it takes, every decision it takes, it does it in the sense of according to its sort of, like I said, its spiritual center. What happens is that the collection of actions in its life will begin to form a pattern, which is like the spider's web, right? Because they're all sort of orientated from the same place. And so the spider talks about a life of Dharma that not only sort of guides us, but also provides a really supportive environment spiritually, financially as well, since this is an earth animal, for those that the spider loves and for itself, right? It creates a real sort of stable, right, protective, supportive base from which to go out into the world. And this is because of its very strong moral and spiritual beliefs that really inform every single thing that the spider does. This oftentimes can be someone who's very sort of pious or spiritual. Very strong energy indeed. All right, guys, let's get right into it. Sagittarius, we're going to pull out anywhere from 4 to 6 3-card spreads for you to see what your week entails, what you may or may not be experiencing this week. And again, just like the romance angel messages and the animal spirits, if the forecast doesn't apply to you, then it's not for you. Now, these forecasts are meant to be separate from each other. Oh, cards are jumpy. Hang on. These, the forecasts are meant to be separate from each other, right? And so what happens is that you may resonate, which is one of them or none of them or just a portion of them, okay? So sometimes I do get messages or comments from individuals who are watching the weeklies, and they resonate with one forecast, but then the other forecast, they don't understand why they're not resonating with that. These are meant to be technically separate events or separate experiences for separate Sagittarius. Now, if you resonate with more than one, that's fine. But it's also fine that if you resonate, which is one of the readings or none of them at all. All right, guys? So I just wanted to clear that up. Let's see what your first spread is all about. 4 of Wands, Strength, and 4 of Cups. 2 4s and Strength. A lot of times this combination will come up. Now, sometimes in reading tarot, there is certain combinations of cards that for whatever reason, I guess, because of the nature of tarot, they tend to come up together. This is one of them. All right, I've seen this spread many times before. It's almost an archetypal spread in a way that will come up. Okay, 4 is the number for stability. 8 is the number for boundaries and strength, as you can see there. 8, Major Arcana Strength card, is associated with Leo, but that's neither here nor there. 4 of Wands, you come into the week, Sagittarius, with a new relationship. The 4 of Wands is Venus and Aries energy, so this is a new, stable relationship, right? That has come about. Now, the reason why we call this obviously this is the 1111 card because of the mirrored wands there, but the reason why this is a twin flame journey card is because, first of all, Venus, the goddess of beauty and love, and then Aries is sort of the great progenitor, the great sort of instigator, the one that goes out into the world and creates and conquers new territory, right? So here we have a new relationship, but not only that, we have the number 4, which is the number for stability. So this indicates a new relationship where the two people come together with such stability and mutual respect and love that it is the basis for a twin flame journey. It is the basis for a healthy twin flame journey. This is not to say one of these journeys where it's like, he's my twin flame, but he hasn't spoken to me in 8 months. That's not a healthy twin flame journey. I'm talking about a true, healthy soulmate connection that goes out into the world with strength and stability. And this is what you're finding this week, Sagittarius. It's very, very beautiful. But you come across the Strength card. I'm going to say for some of you, Sagittarius, yes, this is a new relationship starting off. And yes, it has all the hallmarks for being a twin flame journey, a soulmate connection, romantic soulmate connection. Yet you are met with the Strength card, which is to say that you are still in a way, I'm going to say you're going to find yourself not so much tested, right? But you've been here before, right? You've been here before. And I think that what you're going to find yourself doing is, regardless of how strong this connection is, Sagittarius, some of you are going to find yourself putting boundaries in place, nevertheless, wanting to maintain your strength, not wanting to give everything over here to this union just yet until you're sure of what you're getting. You have 4 of Cups, and the 4 of Cups can be interpreted a lot of ways, but you round off your week with a 4 of Cups. And again, 4 being the number for stability, sometimes 4 of Cups can be, refusing help when you need it. But a lot of times also the 4 of Cups is like saying, look, you're handing me a cup, right? I've been here before. I have 3 empty cups in front of me, and your empty cup looks exactly like these, right? So what are you actually offering me? Because I've been through this before, and I'm not prepared to accept your cup until I know for sure that what you have to offer will help me either maintain or increase my stability, but certainly won't destabilize me. What do I expect from this cup of love? What should I expect from this new union? Just because all the feelings are there, the intensity is there, that's not enough. I need to know that, are you willing to work on a relationship with me? What comes with this? Are you honest, right? Are you going to be faithful, committed? Are you willing to work with me on areas that I need a partner in? All of these, whatever your requirements are, Sagittarius, this is my show and prove card. Show and prove to me that if I accept this cup of love, I'm not just going to have the same experience I had before. Each and every time I thought it was going to work out. And I think this is an exercise in your strength, Sagittarius, here. Because part of this is really sort of, we come across a lot of soulmate connections. We come across a lot of people in our lives. And I think the mistake that a lot of people make is that they really don't wait for anybody to show and prove. The moment they make a connection with someone that's intense, that feels intense, immediately they are like, oh, that's my twin flame. Oh, that's my soulmate. And then they completely sort of ignore all of the other telltale signs that this may not actually work out. Right? It's almost like they commit to a union that never ever proved to be actually that union in the first place. And you, Sagittarius, you've been down this road perhaps so many times already that you're saying, it feels like it looks like a duck, it sounds like a duck, it walks like a duck, but still, I've been there before. And it wasn't what it was meant to be. And so I'm going to pull back some of my passion. I'm going to sort of, not allow my passions to run away with me, right? I'm going to sort of put some boundaries in place and exercise some strength until you show me that what you have to offer is what I want, what I need, and what I require. from a true twin flame journey. Page of Swords, Page of Wands, and there you are, showing up in your own reading, Sagittarius. Of course, Temperance is the card for Sagittarius, 14. 2 pages. Well, right now you are overcoming a lot of sort of fear, right? Pages are all associated with overcoming fear in a particular area. The beginning rung of the court cards. With Page of Swords, we're talking about being sort of optimistic, being mentally strong, not succumbing to negative thoughts and self-doubt, not succumbing to individuals who might want to sort of get you to think that what you're attempting is crazy, or get you to doubt yourself, you know, being clear-headed in your minds and remaining true to the ideal that you can achieve what you set your mind out to, that the plans you have, the strategy you have, the ideas you have are valid. And you really don't, care to listen to any negativity. And this is how you're entering this week. This kind of very sort of courageous sort of, I'm going to go after what I want regardless of what anybody else thinks. So you're met with this Page of Wands, which is similar. The Page of Wands is overcoming fear and expressing ourselves creatively. Here we talk about overcoming fear and negativity when it comes to following our passion, our ideals, right? Here, the Page of Wands is highly creative, right? He wants to express himself creatively without abandon. He doesn't worry about sort of being made fun of or being ridiculed. He doesn't care if anybody believes in his passion. He believes in his passion. And so hand in hand, these go together very, very well. You round off your week with Temperance energy. It's quite interesting because I wonder if this Page of Wands isn't somebody who's very sort of simpatico with you. I wonder if you don't meet perhaps someone this week, Sagittarius, who's kind of like, your perfect sort of mate in a lot of ways, You both are very courageous and fearless in very subtle ways, in very different subtle ways. You both have this sense of youthfulness about you and about starting a new path in your life. And you're rounded off with Temperance energy in the sense that Temperance energy is really kind of like guarding yourself. I think it's very similar to the previous spread as well. You're guarding yourself when you come across this Page of Wands, because I think, Sagittarius, some of you find this Page of Wands to be so compatible, so intriguing, so much like yourself in so many ways, that it is a perfect match, yet you are feeling like, hang on, let me temper my emotions, let me temper myself, let me not get ahead of myself. And I think for a lot of you, you are indeed sort of being very careful, very cautious, right? And Temperance energy is all about that. And I don't blame you for being this way, but I'm going to say this is a nice union here, Sagittarius. This is a very, very nice union, and this is the energy, and on all levels, this energy is very, very compatible with each other. I'd be very curious to see how this new union or this new meeting turns out in just a few weeks. Queen of Swords, more pages, Page of Pentacles, and the Lovers. All right, so some of you entering this week with a Queen of Swords. You've worked very hard, to be honest with yourself about who you are. And you're requiring that everyone around you is the same way, right? Queen of Swords is kind of like, look, I did the work to pull away my mask. I did the work to look in the mirror and accept myself for who I am, to face up to all of my demons. And I've done the work that I needed to do to sort of like be happy being myself. This is very much sea serpent energy in the sense that being unique and individual, being willing and able to go out in the world with this unique creative energy, this unique sexual energy as well, and not hiding behind any kind of role or mask or veil, and being honest with who you are, right? This is Queen of Swords in a lot of ways. You require that from those around you. You're met with a Page of Pentacles. I'm going to say again, this sounds like another week for a love connection. I think a lot of you Sagittarius are going to be having new love connections because you come into this week with this attitude and you meet a Page of Pentacles. Someone who's extremely practical, Someone who is very down to earth, very obviously pentacles are earth and pages are earth. So you have the most earthy aspect of earth here, right? So somebody who's very, very practical, very sort of task orientated, right? And very good at helping you find solutions to things, like, practical, like I said, practical solutions, right? It's quite interesting because it's like Queen of Swords. You come into this week and you're doing a lot. You're making a lot of moves this week, Sagittarius. But this person, interestingly enough, I think they come into sort of your view. And at first they're perhaps a little bit sort of unremarkable. Not necessarily very fiery or anything like that, but they move around a lot, they get a lot done, and something about their energy just intrigues you. By the end of the week, there is a love connection. There's a feeling of possibly making a connection with this person. Certainly, something about their energy has got you interested. Right? And I think for a lot of you, Sagittarius, you're resonating with this. This Page of Pentacles is also going to be somebody who's kind of like just buzzing around you. I feel like there's going to be a lot of bee energy at play here. This is someone who's just going to be around you. Every time you turn around, they pop up. Who is this person? Every time I turn around, I see you. It's going to be very much like one of these things like, serendipitous, right? It's like, oh, it's almost as if fate kind of throws you two together. Boom, boom, boom. You keep knocking into each other until you finally take a moment and look at each other and realize that there is a possible love connection here. Very quirky kind of new union coming up. King of Wands, Five of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. I'm going to call it. This is your last spread. Some of you are coming into this week being very sort of idealistic about what you have to get done. You are very sure about what you need to do with that King of Wands. Some of you may indeed be in charge of a project or an effort in some way. You're the leader of the gang, right? You're the one that everyone is looking to, for example. And you're working away on a particular area. You're met with a Five of Swords, which is a power struggle. And so in the course of you sort of going after your objective, because King of Wands has an objective, right? His objective is to achieve something that he's very, very passionate about oftentimes. It could be a creative endeavor. It could be something to do with his career or his finance. But it's always something that he feels very passionately about, that he actually feels like his morality or his spiritual sort of code allows him to sort of, a very spider energy, because the King of Wands is a very Dharma sort of king. He accomplishes things according to how he believes he should live his life. He follows his passions, but it's almost in a religious way. His passions are his religion. His way of life is his religion. This is the quirky king, the king of the eccentrics, the king of the unique individuals out there. He leads by example. Certainly, this is the leader. This is someone who, is an example, right? And you're coming into that, but this Five of Swords is a power struggle, and you kind of like, you know what? You win. Power struggle, Five of Swords is very much kind of like this idea that if I have to engage with you on your level, then I'd rather not engage at all. Five of Swords is the card for defeat. But it's defeat in a way of taking the high road. This individual who has the swords here, they cheat, they're underhanded. The tactics they use are not the type of tactics that you would want to employ. And so you don't even want to interact with them on this power struggle. You would rather say, you know what, you win, and allow them to have this hollow victory than to keep engaging with them. And I think for some of you, you have so many important things to do. Right now, you're really kind of on this path of achieving something great in your life that you really just don't have time for this. This is very petty energy. And this week, you decide to cut it off. I have been saying this for a lot of my collective. I think a lot of us out here this year, we're cutting off the petty people. We're blocking them, unfriending them, changing our numbers, whatever the case may be. But there's a lot of sort of petty power dynamics that, a lot of us are choosing to sort of say, you know what? I don't even want to engage in it. You know what I mean? I want to raise my level of interaction. And I think this is happening for you, Sagittarius. Some of you this week, with this vision for your future that you have here that is so strong, part of that vision is cutting out all of the detritus, cutting out all the shit, all the, you know, toxic people, the petty people, and you'd rather take the high road. You round off the week with a Knight of Wands, which is quite interesting because it's almost as if you've had your eye on a particular objective here, right? But now after this week, after this kind of sort of like cutting out of the shit, I want to say, really, the pettiness, the power struggles that you really don't even care about, it's almost as if you have sort of opened up the way for better progress, right? Open up the way for even more sort of speedier progress, right? With this Knight of Wands, it's like you double down on your journey, your objective that you have here, after getting rid of these obstacles in your way, these obstacles that have come in the form of individuals or personalities that have kind of dragged you back, you know. This can happen sometimes in Sagittarius. They can really waste their energy on people because we do like to play with fire. A lot of times we do sort of entertain. Sometimes we can entertain relationships with people, friendship or romantic relationships that we know in the back of our minds aren't going to last. But we do it anyway. I don't know why. It's like we play with fire. We do it for fun. We do it out of curiosity or to see what's going to happen. Even if we know in the back of our minds it might not work out. Right? And but what happens, what we do forget sometimes, Sagittarius, is that by entering into these kind of sort of relationships, right, exchanges, we do sort of lose some of our energy for what we're trying to achieve for ourselves. And I think for a lot of these Sagittarius, you decide to say, you know what? It's time that I stop playing around. It's time that I stop entertaining these type of people. I know this is not really for me, and I really need to keep my energy for myself. And what happens, like I said, right away as a result of it, your Knight of Wands comes in. It's almost like you, like I said, you redouble your efforts. You get a boost of sort of motivation, a boost of energy, and a boost in sort of just moving forward now, you know, with more of your energy put towards what you desire rather than half of your energy put towards these petty squabbles and these petty back and forths with people that you actually don't really care that much about. All right, guys, this is your reading, December 22nd to the 28th. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to keep your bell on, your notifications, just for the next couple of days in case you are the winner of the Spirit Animal Oracle deck for this month. Giving this away, you have to be subscribed and leave me a comment letting me know you're interested. But I say that just for the next couple of days, put your notification on so that when I announce the winner, you'll find out about it. You can let me know your address so I can mail it out to you, all right? And then you can turn the notification off if you want to. I know that with all these subscriptions that everybody's always being asked to sort of hit the bell, hit the subscribe. Listen, if you want to subscribe to my channel, go ahead, you know. And if you don't, maybe I'll see you later on down the road and my video will come up in your feed and maybe you'll consider it next time. In either case, though, for the next couple of days, do pay attention because you might be winning that Oracle deck. But for right now, Sagittarius, have a wonderful, wonderful second to last week of 2019. And I shall see you next week for the final weekly reading of 2019 for Sagittarius. Bye-bye now.